I've seen some wild dogs around here. I mean, do I tell you or do I go report it like to the office or what do I do?
Like coyotes
No,
or just stray dogs?
just some really wild dogs that have been off their leash. Like, do you know where the police department is?
We work out of the police department.
You do? That's where they are.
At the police department?
Yeah, there's one. His name is Archbell.
Oh.
He's really been off of his leash lately. You know him? Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. I was wondering if you could like put him in a cage just for a little while.
We could try, but I don't
Yeah,
think
you
he'll
know
fit.
who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, press on, amble about, assemble forth, legion up, sound off, pursue happiness with your life on your property, and for God's sakes, exercise your Fourth Amendment right not to be in your person. Yeah, right? So this looks like one of the people. We got car number 395 and car 371. Car 395 has a bicycle on the back of his. So this motorcycle doesn't look like a motor vehicle. It looks like a private automobile to me. He's got stuff on the back. His license plate looks messed up. That might be why these gang members thought that they had jurisdiction over him in the first place. You know, the people, as in we the people, have a right to these roads, not a privilege. And Sneer versus Cullen says that a right is not subject to rules. Same as Miranda versus Arizona. No rules or regulations will be placed upon rights. And a license plate, any license is permission. You know, you don't have to ask permission to exercise a right to press on the roads that we own. Now, if you're engaged in commercial activity, like an Uber driver or a big rig, or you're working for the government or the military, then, or you know, if you've committed a crime involving a victim, such as hurting another man or depriving another man of his property, damaging his property, or defrauding another man in contract. And when I say man, I'm including woman in that. Woman is a man plus a womb. I'm certain that Thomas Jefferson knew that, the etymology of words. He was the consummate studier. In fact, after the Brits burned the Library of Congress, Thomas Jefferson so graciously donated his vast and treasured collection, and thereby began the Library of Congress anew. Of course, he was very sad without his books, and so he immediately began collecting more. He was a voracious reader, and when he wrote words like people and person and citizen, I have no doubt that he knew what they meant. You know, especially since he never slipped. You know, not just him, but any of the framers. They didn't slip once. The people are only used in reference to rights or powers. Persons are used in reference to being seized, being subject to the authority thereof, you know, privileges and immunities. You know, and privileges and immunities are not the same as rights and powers. It may seem like they're the same, you know, but when the 14th Amendment came around,
in all subsequent civil rights bills, what happened is that they never recognized anybody as one of the people, anybody that wasn't one of the people prior to that. All they did was just raise the bar for persons and what persons could now do. So, I mean, it's true that citizens are allowed free speech and, freedom of religion, but they're, that's a privilege, and privileges can be taken away. Whereas the people, they always had that right. The First Amendment talks about the people. It doesn't say anything about persons or citizens. We the people, the first three words after preamble, of course. And if you can preamble, then you can amble. And the amble is walking. That's movement. And that's a right. And pressing on. It's not just holding this camera like I am, or a pen, or telling your friends and your neighbors and your family about something later. It's also movement, pressing on, pressing forward. And the right of assembly, it's hard to assemble if you can't assemble first. You have to be able to get to the place of assembly. I assembled on my way here, and now I'm assembled. And I'm pressing on for the truth. This is the fourth estate. You have the executive branch and the legislative branch and the judicial branch, but the people, they're the fourth branch of government. They have a right to press on, and that's the only guaranteed job there is in this country, is the right to press on. And similarly to the right to religion, they're in a preferred position, and Murdoch versus Pennsylvania was a case about Mr. Murdoch. He wanted to pass out religious paraphernalia, and the city wanted him to get a permit in order to do that. And he was accepting donations. I think he was asking he wasn't really asking for a certain amount, but he was accepting money for it, which gives the impression that it's commercial activity, and the Commerce Clause would give the government the authority to regulate that. However, due to no law being passed respecting religion or prohibiting the free practice thereof, what happened is that the city could not force Mr. Murdoch to get a license to pass out religious paraphernalia, because he wasn't really making a profit from it. He was just trying to recoup the printing costs of it. And that was different than, say, a preacher's salary, right? Whereas a preacher's salary could be taxed, and he's subject to all the rules and regulations of any other person engaged in commercial activity. While he was passing out his religious paraphernalia, he wasn't subject to it, right? And so the freedom of the press is kind of the same way. So let's say that you write a little flyer, and you're trying to pass out the news, and you'll accept 10 cents or a quarter or whatever as a donation, or you might even have a recommended amount of a quarter or whatever. But that's okay. That's protected. You don't need a license for that. But when you have a news site and you're getting paid for advertising and yada yada, then that's different. You are trying to make a profit there for personal gain, and so that's subject to the Commerce Clause. But so let's say, for instance, we're technically on private property right now at HEB, right? But just because this bike drove in here doesn't mean that the police can't follow him. They can follow him for sure, because they're in the course of their duties. And now let's say the HEB came out and told me I had to leave. Well, under normal circumstances, that would be fine, except that right now I'm kind of attached to these police officers because I have a guaranteed right to record them in the course of their duties. Now, if the police can come in here, then I can come in here too in order to record this. you know, but any other situation, of course, the owner would be able to tell me to leave. Now, so car number 371, I didn't get his ID, but I will. I'll be going to talk to Beth at the Cedar Park PD pronto.
Sir, we're not done here until he's left the scene, okay?
Oh, if he's free to go, then he's free to stay, and he's free to talk to me. And that's what is irritating me most about Officer Archbell. I know you said he's not under you, but you know, when we have officers telling the people what they can, where they can and can't stand, when they haven't broken any laws, then, you know, it starts to erode the trust. When officers give illegal orders, then, and I know it's an illegal order, it's an unlawful order, right? Then now I know I can't trust anything this guy says. You see, and everybody on that sees this video is going to know that we can no longer trust him, because he's just so easy to give an order and tell me to step up there like he has authority over me. He doesn't have authority over me right now. I am one of the people. I've broken no laws. No crime has been committed. Oh, if he's free to go, then he's free to stay, and he's free to talk to me, and you definitely cannot restrict my modus of travel. Can I talk to you, sir? Can I talk to you, sir? If he's free to leave, he's free to stay. How about pulling right over here for me? What's your name and badge number since you addressed me? I need... Oh, I did. That's right. Yeah, you too. You tried to give me orders that time too. That guy's got a real hard on. Can I ask you what he pulled you over for?
My tags, can't read it.
I figured that. It looked like your whole license plate was all messed up. He didn't give you a ticket?
Nope, give me a warning.
Yeah. I'm David, by the way.
I'm Ken.
Ken? Nice to meet you, man. You look like you're traveling.
Nah, I was working. I run food.
Oh, yeah?
I'm a food runner.
Yeah. I've videotaped him once before, and he let the guy go then, too. But, you know, once you get a camera on him, then things are different sometimes, you know?
This right here, this is the mount for a GoPro, okay? The GoPro, I think it's in the box. It might be. But every time I've had the GoPro on, I don't get messed with at all.
Right.
When I don't have it in there, I get stopped left and right. No follows. Right,
exactly. Well, I don't know if you follow YouTube at all, but you'll be able to see this. Not quite yet, but at some point it'll be up there. My site is called Press On.
Okay.
Just press on, you know. And
I'll check it out. I look at a lot of these stop videos, and, you know, yeah, I know my rights. I know if I get stopped operating a vehicle, I got to give them my license. I got to give them my ID. And if I'm just walking around, I don't. But, you know, it's best just to, you know, go along with the program. It's a lot easier.
Yeah,
because
sure.
if you don't, then they get the pennies in a wad, you know?
Sure. No, that guy's got a real hard on. See, they like to be the last one to leave. You know, if I'm filming a traffic stop, and once it's over, it's over. Right? And the person is free to go, they're free to stay, and I can go talk to them, but, you know, it seems to be your policy to be the last one to leave. Well, right? And that's fine.
And I'd want to talk to that officer if you're giving a specific...
I have 3 videos of him.
Then as to why he'd want to stay, it may just be to make sure the person got on the road and out of traffic. Okay.
No, I'm
because
sensing a pattern.
That's what I would do when I was on night shift and making a lot of traffic stops.
I'm sure
I'd make sure they were able to pull out and get out.
No, these were all on parking lots. None of them were on a roadway. Unbelievable. Corporal Jose has nothing but excuses for his fellow little gang member. He's so certain that he was just protecting everybody's safety because, you know, they wanted to make sure they weren't on the roadway and stuff like that. Of course, he was talking to a witness and he wasn't there, but nevertheless, he's got nothing but excuses for his little gang members. Disgusting.
Being safe to pull up, but as you see, I'm already off the road. So
yeah, you're off the road. You know, he doesn't like it when somebody challenges his authority at all.
Oh no.
You know, they like to stand there and make sure that you. They are. I filmed a stop at HEB on Bell, right? And you know, he pulled over a biker, and he let him go, and then he told me I couldn't talk to him. Right now, this is the 3rd time I've dealt with this guy, and and every time I'm like, yes, I can. He's free to stay, he's free to go. And he did want to talk to me, and he sat in the parking lot the whole time and wouldn't leave until we left, right? But I didn't leave, you know what I mean? I waited. But it's like those are gang stalking tactics, right? That's what gangs do.
Oh, I'm sure.
You see what I'm saying? And I mean, there's enough people out there calling police officers gangs, you know, that we don't need to prove it.
Right.
Like, comment, subscribe, spread the word. Yeah. Right?